We got another episode of the series where I rate and improve your guys' teams. You guys will send me your teams on Twitter at xevantanaka, and I'll give you guys my best suggestions to help improve your squad, and then give you guys a rating 1 through 10. So if you guys want to comment down below on the YouTube video as well, let me know in the comment section down below what is your guys' team looking like, and let me know how much MT you guys have, and I'll give you guys all my best suggestions and my rating 1 through 10. The first team here is going to come in from Zach. He's on next gen and has 850,000 MT to work with, so a lot of MT to work with, and he does have a fairly good squad. I'd say I like your starting lineup, a couple suggestions I could make, and then the bench I think it's very solid as well. So this team rating is probably going to be a 9 out of 10. Very good overall squad. For me, what I would do is move Paul George to your small forward position, and then move Jimmy Butler to your backup shooting guard spot. So then your starting lineup will be GP, Kobe Bryant, Paul George, and I think if you even want to slide Dwight to the power forward position and then pick up a Kareem who's only about 200,000 MT, I think that could be a really good option at the center spot. So then your starting lineup will be GP, Kobe Bryant, Paul George, Dwight Howard, and Kareem. I think that's going to be a lot better than what it is right now. And then you also get Jimmy Butler off the bench. So then your bench would be D-Mitch, Jimmy Butler, Scottie Pippen. I would recommend getting Kevin Garnett over a guy like Kevin McHale. I do think KG is just going to be a decent amount better at the power forward position. And once you make those suggestions, or once you make those improvements, I would say this squad is probably a 9.5 out of 10, because then you're going to pick up probably the best center in the game in Kareem, and you're going to get a way better power forward in KG, and then you also do replace Eddie Jones and get yourself a Jimmy Butler. If you also want to maybe get a better backup point guard, you want to grind for Westbrook, maybe you want to pick up a John Wall, you want to pick up a Penny Hardaway, you could obviously do that as well, but overall, a very good squad. Next team here is coming in from my boy Paper. He's on Courage and has about 300,000 MTs, looking to pick up Penny and possibly PG, having fun with this team. I mean, this squad, at least the starting lineup, is amazing, and yeah, even the bench is very, very elite. So this squad overall is probably going to be a 9.5. There's not too many suggestions you can do with 300,000 MT. I think Penny is definitely definitely could be an upgrade over a guy like Cade, especially on your starting lineup. You really only have one ball handler in Tim Thomas, so if you threw Penny Hardaway in over Cade, then you would have two ball handlers. So I think Penny Hardaway would probably be my suggestion for your starting point guard, because other than that, you pretty much have the perfect starting lineup in my opinion. Obviously you could get a Kobe or a Ricky, but maybe a Ricky as well if you wanted to improve the shooting guard position. But I think Jimmy Butler and DeMar DeRozan are definitely going to be fine. I would say the only position you could possibly upgrade is going to be that backup power forward. I do think KG is a better power forward than James Worthy, especially with people running, Dwight Howard's at power forwards. People are now starting to run like double bigs and like have Dwight Howard at the 4. So if you match a Dwight Howard at the 4 and you have James Worthy, that's going to be kind of hard to guard with a guy like Worthy at the power forward position. So I'd maybe look to get a guy like KG, but for this squad, only suggestion you really need is going to get Penny for that point guard spot. Next team here comes in from Brandon. He's got 2.3 million and he's on PS5, and this is a very good squad. All these teams in this video, at least so far, have been absolutely exceptional. I feel like that's the thing with my team this year, is I feel like everybody has a very good squad, but there is some suggestions you can make, especially with 2.3 million. I mean, giving it a quick rating 1 through 10, I would say it's going to be a little bit worse than the last team, but overall still a pretty good squad. I'd probably give it an 8.5 out of 10, maybe a 9. Starting lineup I think is definitely good. You can upgrade the center position, but we'll talk about that later. For your point guard, 1000% need to get rid of John Morant. I know you can't sell him because he's unauctionable, but 1000% get Penny Hardaway, or at least get a John Wall, Gary Payton. You need to have one of those point guards on your team, and then if you get Penny or GP, I think you could possibly start them over Russ, and then have Russ as your backup point guard. For your shooting guard, I would get Ricky Davis or Kobe 1000%, or a guy like Ray Allen, Ron Artest. One of those guys you definitely have to be picking up for your lineup. Klay Thompson, one of those shooting guards you have to be running at that backup spot, or could start over Clyde and then have Clyde off your bench. If you want to go for like the best possible team, I would get Kobe or Ricky for the shooting guard spot. I would get Penny for the point guard, move Clyde to the backup 2, and move Russ to the backup 1. And then for your lineup, I mean, that's pretty much it. Once again, you can maybe get a guy like KG over James Worthy, and then for your center position, I would either get Kareem or Hakeem. Both of those centers are going to be a lot better than a guy like Joel. So if you make those suggestions, your lineup could look something like Penny Hardaway, Kobe Bryant, Paul George, Anthony Davis, and Kareem. And then off the bench, you could have Russ, Clyde, Pippen, KG, and KP. In my opinion, that's going to be a 9.5 out of 10 squad and definitely going to have a lot of improvements. Looking at the next team here coming in from Adam, he's got 250,000 MT plus D-Wade and Marbury are tradable. So could possibly sell D-Wade, which I'm not exactly sure how much he's going for, but right off the rip, I would sell D-Wade and try to pick up yourself either a John Wall or a Gary Payton. I think they're both around the same price range as a guy like D-Wade, so you should just be able to do a kind of a swap and get yourself a Gary Payton or a John Wall, who I do think are going to be a lot better than Wade. But looking at the squad for the rating out of 10, I do think it's a little bit worse than the teams we looked at, but still a very good squad. I like Big Z, I like Pippen, I like Jimmy Butler, but overall, I'd probably give this squad an 8 out of 10. There's definitely some suggestions you can have. I would say Kristaps Porzingis definitely has to be in this lineup. I think he's a good amount better than Embiid. I mean, your centers right now definitely aren't bad, but I would say KP is going to be a lot better than Embiid. So I would get KP for your starting center and then have Big Z as your backup center. For power forward, I don't mind a guy like Moses Malone, but if you want to grind for James Worthy, I think he could definitely play on this team. But if you want to buy someone off the auction house, KG, I think definitely has to play in this squad. He's going to be a really good power forward and way better than guys like Moses Malone and Jermaine O'Neal. So if you get yourself KG and James Worthy, those can be your two power forwards. I think your small forwards are fine. You can maybe look to upgrade Draymond Green. I think Ben Simmons is just a better Green, or even Wiggins I think is better than Draymond Green as well. And then for your shooting guard spot, I think it's fine with Booker off the bench. I mean, if you wanted to upgrade to a Ray Allen, that's probably going to cost you a little bit too much MT. So I think D-Book is fine to play, especially pairing with guys like Marbury and Draymond or a guy like Wiggins. So your lineup could look something like, let's say you get Gary Payton. Actually, let's say you go John Wall, because that's probably fits your starting lineup a little bit better. John Wall, Jimmy Butler, Scottie Pippen, KG or Worthy, and then KP at the starting center. And then off the bench, you could go Marbury, Booker, Wiggins, probably Moses Malone or Worthy, and then have Big Z off the bench. So that, in my opinion, is a way better squad, and those would be my suggestions for your team. Looking at the next team here coming in from RFK, he's got 450,000 MT on current gen, and he's got another really good team. I mean, all of these teams in this video so far at least are really elite. I mean, your starting lineup can definitely stay the same. I would say for your team, the only position I'm really gonna suggest upgrading is your power forward spot. I don't mind Josh Smith off the bench. I think he's definitely a solid power forward, but for your starting power forward, I mean, you can make a big upgrade and try to get yourself with Dwight Howard, or once again, I know I'm giving the same suggestion for power forward, but KG is probably one of the best, if not the best, auctionable power forward in the game. Like I said, besides a guy like Dwight Howard, I mean, KG's the next best, right? I mean, I know there's Josh Smith, who he has off the bench, but auctionable power forwards, unless I'm absolutely tripping, there's like nobody else that's auctionable. All the best power forwards in the game are like Anthony Davis, James Worthy, and overall the power forward position is pretty weak this year, at least so far. So I'd say KG is a lot better than Kemp. And then after that, your squad's gonna be pretty much not perfect, but for 450,000 MT, that's what I'd recommend doing. And for your rating out of 10, I would say before the KG upgrade, this is probably gonna be an 8.5, maybe 9 out of 10. Next team here coming in from my boy Axel. I think that's how you pronounce it. He's got 150,000 MT. You have two center pieces, which I plan on getting Westbrook and Worthy. He has a Season 1 limited option pack. Don't know if I should bother getting Booker. He's 40,000 XP away from that. So he's got Westbrook and Worthy coming into the squad, and then he does have a Season 1 limited option pack. So first off, let's just give this base team a rating out of 10. And I would say it's definitely going to be the weaker team so far in the video, but definitely not necessarily a bad team. Oh, he has Russ and Worthy already in the squad. Sorry, I didn't see that. But yeah, overall, I mean, this team is definitely solid. I would probably give it like a 7 out of 10 though. I think there's definitely some suggestions you can make, but the starting lineup is fine for a budget squad. You have 150,000 MT and you have that limited one option pack. So in my opinion, I'm probably going to say to get yourself an Iguodala or a Donovan Mitchell, because you already have Caruso off the bench. So I think he's a really good backup point guard, and there's so many good diamond point guards in the game, like De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Marbury, you know, DeJounte Murray, obviously Caruso, all very elite. Even Garland is very good. They're all kind of around the same price tag. So I'd say for you, from that limited one option pack, I would definitely take yourself an Iguodala. You can play him at the starting shooting guard spot and then bring Lance off the bench, and that's going to be your shooting guard spot pretty much locked up. Anunoby, I think, should be starting, in my opinion, over a guy like Ron Artest. And then at the backup small forward spot, if you want to go for a cheaper card like Aaron Gordon, you know, MPJ, you know, that Diamond Ben Simmons, I think all those guys are going to be really good options. For your power forward spot, I like Worthy at the power forward position. At the backup four though, I would would definitely try to upgrade to a guy like MPJ, or if you want to go really budget, a guy like Robert Williams III, I do think is going to be a lot better than Royce O'Neal, especially at the power forward position. And then for this team, I'm saving your MT because I think you should get Kristaps Porzingis, because if you get KP, you can move Joel Embiid to the back at 5, and then you can also start KP. You can move Joel Embiid to the back at 5 and then start KP, and that'll be your center positions pretty much locked up. Also, what you could do is if you want to get Devin Booker, you can start D-Book, have Lance off the bench, and then from that limited one option pack, you could pick yourself a Sean Kemp, and then he can play your backup power forward spot over a guy like MPJ, and then maybe you can move MPJ to that backup small forward spot when you move OG to the starting small forward position. Last team here of the video coming in from Aqua. I think it's how you pronounce it, probably not though, but he's got 250,000 MT, not trying to spend too much, and he's looking for a backup power forward. He has Jermaine but doesn't like him. I would say Jermaine, yeah, he's not really the best power forward, and I know this is kind of, you know, who I've been recommending the entire video, but Pink Diamond KG I think is a way better power forward than Sean Kemp, and definitely Vanderbilt off the bench. So get yourself a KG, move Sean Kemp to the backup power forward spot, and after that, I mean, if you're not looking to spend too much MT, I think your team is perfectly fine. And if you want a rating out of 10 before the upgrade, I'd probably give this an 8.5, maybe a 9 out of 10. The only position you have right now that's a liability is going to be the backup power forward with Vanderbilt. So if you get rid of Vanderbilt and you get KG, this squad will definitely be a 9 out of 10, maybe even a 9.5. But hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Like I said, comment your teams and MT amount down below in the YouTube comment section. I'll give you guys my best suggestions and my rating 1 through 10. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.